Do you have an excess of fruit abundantly growing on the trees and bushes in your yard this year? Now, this is actually a very common problem. For many people, it's simply considered a nuisance, right? They don't eat the fruit. Maybe the crab apples or that variety of pear that's growing in the yard just isn't to their flavor, or they don't know that choke cherries are actually delicious and edible. Now, for some of us, it can be a matter of circumstance. Maybe it's the year, I get it. Life happens. You just don't have the time to pick and process that fruit. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've had two people reach out to me and say, hey, I've got, an excess of apples. I've got, Evans cherries that need picking. Do you need any or know somebody who would love to come by and pick this fruit? And every year I have this conversation. Every year I try and get out and pick as much as I can personally use. But I want to share with you a couple of resources that, whether you live in Calgary or not, maybe hopefully will kind of, spur an idea that there are people, there are organizations out there that want your fruit. They won't go to waste. They'll take it off your hands. And in the case of one company here, Cider, they'll actually receive your fruit and give you cider in exchange, right? They'll take all kinds of different fruits. They've got very specific requirements on their website, how they want to receive it, that kind of thing. Fair enough. And then they'll exchange you cider that they made in return for your fruit. So there's a couple of other organizations, rescuefood.ca, as well as Calgary Harvest. Now, those are just a couple off the top of my head I can think of. Do a quick little, Google search in your area of what you can do and who might be able to come and pick that excess fruit. Now, if you are all into the picking, you've picked what you have in your yard, or maybe you're somebody that's like, hey, I don't have fruit trees growing in my yard. I want that fruit. I mean, I have done this in years past, walking around the neighborhood, stopping, talking to people, knocking on doors, asking, it's like, hey, I don't want to be presumptuous here, but are you going to be picking that fruit? Looks like it's getting pretty ripe there and getting past the time that it should be utilized. Can I pick? And more often than not, people are like, they're more than happy. Like, yes, go ahead, pick it clean, take all that you want, or they're willing to share. And I've often picked fruit from someone's yard and then shared with them what I make with it. So if you have access to fruit, or you're going to go out and get fruit, I also want to refer you to a couple of videos that I've done, one on Saskatoons, one on choke cherries. I've also talked about, ciders and making juice and booze from pears. So I'll post a couple links down below as references if you've got the fruit and you're just looking for ideas, ways to kind of turn it into something, preserve that harvest, and have that year round. So we got a great season upon us of harvest, be it apples, pears, depending on where you live. Maybe you've got plums and grapes and things on the way. There is an abundance of fruit out there, and you don't have to let it go to waste. It can be utilized. You'll be able to connect with the right person that's going to love, treasure, and enjoy that fruit. All right, enjoy this harvest season. Autumn is upon us, and get connecting fruit to the right people and processing it into things that you love.